But yeah, if it doesn't get to Dabi, then I'll have an issue. So I'll jump into my Dabi theory. I was debating whether I was going to make a solo video for this or bring it to the podcast, but it looked like I'll just do both. So my theory now, right, is, and it's not fully formulated, so you guys might find some holes, which is a good thing, is I think that Dabi actually isn't his son. I think that he might be someone that knows his son and discovered that his power is that he's able to use other people's powers.
So say it again.
So I think that Dabi's real ability is that he's able to use other people's powers, and he's not actually Endeavor's son. He's a friend of his son. And my theory behind that is the skin on him isn't actually his skin. It's Endeavor's son's skin. And that's what he's using to like actually output the fire and shit.
That's some creepy shit.
From the anime,
that might be too dark.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's gonna get this dark with it. From the anime, it looks like in a lot of scenes when he produces flames, it only comes from the skin parts. So my thing is like with the sun's thing. The sun's thing was like he has a weak constitution, right? Mm. So to me, we're assuming that the weak constitution is what led to these burns that Dabi, if he's his son, right? I'm thinking that's the assumption, is that he uses fire. The more he uses fire, his skin burns up. But why has the skin on his face and the hands never burnt up? And I feel like that's because, like, that's not actually his power. My theory is that Dabi's son, right? This is now the extra storytelling part because I need a story behind this. Dabi's son, Endeavor's son, and Dabi were friends. So he knows about Endeavor because they were friends. He was, like, told about the abuse. He has, like, a general feeling about that, which is what allowed him to develop the hate for heroes. Because he goes, oh, my friend is getting abused by his dad, all this bullshit. By some circumstance, Enji's, like the son's power, Toya's power went out of control. This is how Dabi got the burns. So Dabi ended up getting burnt because he was around him when this happened. He couldn't control the flames. So these flames went out of control, burnt this nigga's whole body up. In the effort of like trying to stop him from burning up, he ended up killing him. But when he killed him, he found out that as he touched his skin, he could use his powers. So then from there, because this is where I go to like the, what's his name? Not Sandstorm. Sand Hero Snatch. He said, okay, well, you've been murdering some people for a while. Like, he hinted at that when they were trying to capture Overall. He was like, there's a bunch of burnt bodies we found in the past. And then Dabi just kind of laughed about it. But then he calls back to it after he fights Endeavor. And he says, oh, man, I killed so many people, like, drove me crazy. So my thing is that death probably drove this nigga crazy to where he, like, took this nigga's skin. This is the part where there's plot hole. He took this nigga's skin, but then, like, in the process of learning his power, ended up killing all of these people. Because, like, now he has a new power because he doesn't know that this, like, how to use this flame thing. His skin is all burnt up because of the incident that happened between the two of them. But the flames are all coming from Toya's body parts. So my theory is that Dabi knows all of the background about them because he used to be friends with Dude, but he's not actually their son, which is why it's harder for them to like really get that there's any relationship between them and this nigga. It seems like none of them get that. Like whenever they run into Dabi, it doesn't seem like there's a click that makes
nobody goes.
Yeah,
oh, that's
no one makes a
Toya's
connection.
fault.
Yeah. So I feel like that is also leading to the fact that his power allows him to change the quirk to a degree too. So maybe initially when he had it, like, Toya's powers were red flames, but when Dabi took control of this quirk, he was able to somehow morph it into, like, this blue flame shit that we see today.
I feel like even if, he probably wouldn't even need that because, like, even if he had the exact same quirk, it wouldn't be weird if the Todoroki's like, hey, no, we buried that nigga. Like, we know he dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, if another nigga got the same quirk, it wouldn't be weird. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wouldn't think that he wouldn't even have to change quirks.
Mm.
Or change the quirk around.
Gotcha. So, yeah, that's my theory.
Oh, complicated.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I feel like it explains, because if you notice, Dabi's thing is skin that's pasted on him. It's not, like, the chains that are on his eyes and on his hands are keeping that skin part there. This burnt shit is his actual skin. This is something else that he put on top of his skin. So I'm like, how did these things, like, not get burnt? Yet he did. And then, like, going off of the last arc with the villains, the theme is like, okay, well, some people have quirks that cause them to do fucked up things. Well, if your quirk is that, like, I basically have to wear your skin in order for, like, me to use it, like, that's fucked up. And how else would you find out that you needed that? Well, something tragic would have had to happen to where he found that shit out. And I think that was my thing. So, that's where it came from. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
That's pretty on forward for me.
I just feel like
the only plus that would go with
the
only plus with the darkness is the actual Shigaraki origin story, because I thought that was actually a lot darker than like to be expected period for the show. So I could see it kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, like from the story, like from how you explained it, it's tough to really poke at it at the moment.
Yeah,
that's a thinker. And I don't know. That's an interesting thought, though.
But yeah, I feel like if we don't get confirmation that he's his son after this one, my theory is gonna go Dabi is somehow related to the family, but not.
Toya.
Not Toya. So that was where my mind was going. I was like, how could that be possible? It looks like he's wearing some other nigga's skin. So what if the powers came from the skin? The only thing is that the manga chapters kind of show like it's hard to tell where the flames originate, but so far from what I've googled, like for the anime clips, it looks like all of those are coming specifically from the skin, and not from like any of his burnt parts when he generates flames.
No, that is a low key note though. Yeah, I can see that.
Now, it's something to look out for. Prove me wrong in the future, but
hey,
it'd be cool if I was right.
Okay.
Now I need to add the dark. The Dark Theory theme music that like fucking Joy Boy and all those other motherfuckers use when you start going down the theory paths. There we go.